Yo, what's good? This Mastermind MMA, and the news is true. I had to let it marinate for a little bit. I was just waiting. I knew it was real, and I don't even have to say what it is. You guys know what it is. Fucking Tony is out of the Khabib fight. Now, I'm gonna start with a little bit of his story time. So about 2 to 3 weeks ago, like a little bit before my birthday, I was like, you know what? The fight's coming to Barclays. I'm going to this shit. It's Tony Khabib. This shit might be one of the greatest fights in UFC history. I gotta be there. And then I was scrolling through. I went to Ticketmaster or whatever. I was looking for good tickets. I was looking for, straight up front row cage side was like all sold out. So I was like, shit, I get it. I waited a little bit. So, but still, like, in the front section, tickets were like $500. I'm like, all right, that's not bad. $500 to have that experience of watching fucking Tony and Khabib throw hands all at the front row. All in person. That's not a bad deal at all. So I literally clicked on it, picked the seat, was about to go to checkout, and I was like, oh, wait, let me just, like, scroll some MMA news and shit like that. I went on bjpen.com or one of those sites, and I saw a video of Tony elbowing and kicking steel pipes. And I was like, you know what, fam? I'm not going to buy these tickets now. Literally, that stopped me from buying tickets. Now, granted, I do know that video is an old video from the Kevin Lee camp, and I also know that has nothing to do with the injury that Tony got. But in that moment, I saw that shit, and I'm like, yo, if they're working like this, they're not gonna make it, and I'm not buying tickets for this shit, because all love to Thug Rose. All, shout out Cassie Robb and the 303 camp. That's like home team and shit like that. But I'm not gonna, I say this with all due respect and all respectfully, I'm not gonna be going there just to watch JJ and Thug Rose too. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna, that would be like a great whipped cream to like the sundae, or like the cherry on top of a Khabib Tony fight. But if that's like the whole dessert or the whole entree, like, I'm good on that. That's not gonna be filling enough. So, and I was even talking to Jamari about it on the phone. I was like, yeah, dude, I almost bought ticket on the day that it happened, before Tony even pulled out. I was like, yo, I was browsing around. I was watching, I was looking at tickets. I was literally about to cop some tickets. Then I saw some video of Tony kicking some steel, and I was like, fuck that. Let me wait a little bit. Literally, I was going to wait. I was going to wait till after weigh-ins, and then I was going to buy a ticket. Literally, that's how long I was going to wait until I got something. Because I'm like, I'm not wasting a ticket. I'm not going to be locked in with like 5 Benjis on the line, where I have to either go to it and not be satisfied, or fucking have to scalp it like some you know what I mean, some grimy ass shit. So I was going to wait, and I'm like so glad I didn't. And now to the actual matchup. Max Blessed Holloway. Max the OG Holloway. The best is Blessed Holloway. Is stepping up on no training camp, 6 days notice, to fight Khabib the Eagle Nurmagomedov. That motherfucker, honestly, bro, with that move right there, Max Holloway got inducted into the Bloods. He got inducted into the Crips. He got inducted to the MS-51 or Nietas or whatever gangs in the world, because that is the most gangster shit you could do. Take Khabib on no training camp, going up a weight class, bro. I don't even, like seriously, man, like, people duck this guy. People literally duck Khabib. And Max is taking a fight he does not have to at all. And there's a great reward to it. Don't get it twisted. There's a great reward to it. But the risk is so so blatant and in your face, dude. It's like, all right, you snap this crazy winning streak. You risk getting your fucking ass beat down, like on some like almost like you're getting I don't want to say molested, but like you're gonna be traumatized after that shit. Like if Khabib gets his way and beats you down for however long, that it's gonna change you. So he's risking that. He's risking all this, but if the reward pays off, we have the true champ, because he really, I mean, you see, he cleared out featherweight. Featherweight is sanitized because Max Holloway ran through each and every one of them. Only one left is Ortega, and that's because he just kind of popped up. So you got that. Then you have him going up to lightweight. Let's look at compare Conor's appearance at lightweight to what Max's appearance is going to be. Conor went and fought Eddie Alvarez. Respect to Eddie. Eddie's a good fighter, but Eddie is chinny. He's worn down. He's got his fight miles on him. He's almost at like 200,000 fight miles. And, you know, you got it just, you know, and the Dos Anjos fight, man, like with Eddie, it was like, yeah, but Eddie just got so wild and he never put Dos Anjos out. Like, imagine having someone rock that hard and consistently landing on them that many times and not putting them down to the canvas. He buckled his knees, hard body, like had him on noodle legs, no doubt about it. But he did not take Dos Anjos out. And he got embarrassed in McGregor fight. And let's look at Eddie Alvarez's run. It's good, he had moments, but it's not like, oh, this is that dude. When you look at Khabib's run, you're like, all right, this is that dude. When you look at Tony's run, it's like, all right, this is that dude. But respect to Tony, I mean, I know it's not his fault, but I'm just not going to talk about Tony in this video. And you guys know I was picking Tony to win. And hot take for you, I'm picking Max Blessed Holloway for the upset. Damn right, you heard that right. I'm picking Blessed to beat Khabib. And keep in mind, I respect Khabib. I respect his skill set. And I know what's supposed to happen. What's supposed to happen is Khabib gets Max down, puts a beating on him, either the entirety of the fight or until he's out or the ref steps in. That's what's supposed to happen. But honestly, man, my pick, it's and this upset, this upset pick is not even from a gut feeling. Usually when I pick upsets, it's because I have like a feeling in my gut something's gonna happen. I don't really have that for this. But I'm not going against Blessed. The best is Blessed, baby. So it's Blessed era to me, and I'm just not going against my guy. And the way I see it, bro, I see that Max utilizes his movement. Max isn't moving linearly, but laterally in different directions, kind of throwing Khabib off. Not letting Khabib pinch him up against the cage. Not letting Khabib duck under doubles. Being within the distance that when he could read Khabib coming in, you create enough distance for him not to get in on the legs. And honestly, man, I'm hoping and I'm literally praying that Max catches him with them hands, son. I hope he pieces him up Jose Aldo style. And I hope he gets Khabib out of there. I hope he's the first to get Khabib out of there. And honestly, if Max does that, or even if Max were to get a decision, that'd be fucking amazing. But if Max gets the W, in my book, in my personal book of where I arrange fighters in my mind, he's the motherfucking GOAT. If Max Holloway beats Khabib and becomes the champ this Saturday, he's the fucking GOAT. John Jones, who? Sorry, John. That's my guy, too. But if Max Holloway puts him on, takes Khabib out, he's taking John Jones' spot as the GOAT in my book. So that'd be dope. And not only would that just be dope as a fight, because honestly, I kind of put like, I know I said I was going to talk about Tony, but I kind of have to at this point. I put Max and Tony very similar. I would love to see a Max-Tony fight. And, you know, their kind of mindset is very similar. Their grit is very similar. The fact that they won't give up is very similar. So, in Khabib, he's fighting a very similar fighter, especially in their build even. They're pretty similar. Tall, lanky. It's just Holloway is a lot more technical, and Tony is a lot more funky and creative. You see, Max is fundamentally sound, and Tony is just like unorthodox and wild, for lack of a better term. So, man, I hope Max gets this shit done, bro. Holloway, I need you to get this shit done. I know, it's like, fuck, he couldn't fight like a month ago. He's coming off of an injury. Who knows how much he was training, and if he was training, how much wrestling was he doing? If you have an injury like that, I doubt you're going to be just like grinding it out in wrestling, but you never know, man. Max is a beast. And honestly, we've seen crazier shit happen. I mean, we haven't. That's a lie. But we've seen some crazy shit happen. We've seen Bisping roll up, take out Rockhold. We've seen Nate roll off a yacht, take out fucking McGregor. So I'm hoping it's just one of those moments, man, where Max just gets it done, dude. I need that. And, you know, just kind of... And the weird thing is, it's like, this matchup is a dope matchup. Like, regardless of... You know, when Tony Khabib is what we want to see, no doubt about that. But the fact that it's also a dope fight, it's pretty much a super fight, I don't know, it just hasn't sunk in, because when you look at it, we could have gotten some bullshit, not bullshit, but something not as exciting, like a Poirier versus Nurmagomedov, or Eddie Alvarez versus Khabib, or even they could have like reached down to like the lower barrel of the top 10 and made it like James Vick versus Khabib, and none of that would be as appealing. It wouldn't be appealing at all. It's just like they had to make something. But the fact that they got Max Blessed Holloway stepping up and doing this damn thing, bro, that's a W in its own sense. But I really hope Max gets that win. The true champ could call out Conor McGregor. He doesn't even have to, bro. Like, Max is pretty much just like doing the work without talking the shit. Conor would have to come back. And the thing is, it's weird because Conor's been like kind of always aiming at Max this entire time anyway, like throwing jabs unsolicited and all that. So Max could be like, that rematch, I'd definitely have Max for the upset if he fights Conor again. And another thing, man, like, it just sucks that it's like super short notice for Max. But you know what? Just being optimistic, you never know, because he did go through partial camp before the Frankie fight, before he got hurt. Who knows how much he was working after he got hurt, but you know, he's a tough guy. He already has, I'm sure naturally he's just like pretty decently conditioned. So even like in the off season, I'm sure, even off season injured, I'm sure like he's in like somewhat of a decent shape. I'm sure he just didn't like totally let it go to shit. And I'm hoping that W comes, man. I'm so hoping that W comes. And yeah, man. So I'm disappointed that this fight got called off. And it's a very somber mood about that matchup being called off. But you know what? We got Max, Khabib. I'm still letting that marinate. It hasn't really fully set in. I'm probably going to watch some Max Holloway fights when I'm doing cardio today to get pumped up for it. So, because, dude, the shitty fucking thing was all last week during, like, my second cardio sessions. I was watching fucking Tony Ferguson fights, bro. I was watching Ferguson versus Thompson, Ferguson versus Dos Anjos, Ferguson versus Venata, and I was like, yo, Tony Khabib, let's go. But, I mean, that's, like, totally up against that point, man. And something that's kind of fucked up is that Dana White said he's stripping Tony. So Tony's not going to be the interim champ. Then the moment they step in the cage, they're going to strip Conor, he says. But I have a feeling that they're not going to do that. They're not going to strip Conor. They're going to kind of make it like 2 undisputed titles. They're getting funky with the belts, man. It's kind of really shitty how, I mean, I've spoke on at length about this, but it's just so shitty how something as like 2 years ago, all right, not even before Conor McGregor won a belt, just how what that UFC belt meant, you know. And I do blame Conor because they weren't playing all these games with the belts before Conor. And I'm not saying all of them are his fault because it's outside of his weight classes and stuff like that. But it just like, it's like kind of gimmicky, man. They're fucking Oprah with this shit. You get a belt. You get an interim belt. You get a belt. And before they would take the belt away, but it's like, all right, no, you keep your interim belt while we have the active belt. And now at this point, it's kind of like the interim belt. Like, lineage of a belt doesn't mean shit. They're not vacating. They're not stripping shit. They're stripping people they don't like to make a point. And it's just getting very political and almost gimmicky that they're trying to like throw belts at things. But this isn't really gimmicky because you really do have a true champion in Max. Khabib is kind of like an uncrowned champ. So this is really a dope super fight. I think that's all I had to say on that. I kind of wanted to talk about Joshua Parker for a little bit. So I think that's what I'm going to do. If you don't really give a fuck about boxing, you could turn it off, or not really, because I'm not going to spend too long on it. So Anthony Joshua versus Joseph Parker, man. Joshua was one of my favorite boxers. Deontay Wilder is one of my favorite boxers as well. Just watching that Anthony Joshua fight, man, I felt like as if Joshua has trouble making adjustments. Not only does he have trouble making adjustments, that if you disrupt his rhythm and his like beat with a jab, he doesn't know how to readjust. And that's what I mostly noticed is that, like, and also Parker was a little herky-jerky, a little unorthodox, and Joshua didn't know how to handle that. He didn't know what to do with that. So, I mean, honestly, man, like, before, I kind of thought that Klitschko was, you know, he still had so much in him in that Joshua fight. Like, oh, shit, Klitschko is still, like, I know he's old as fuck, but he's pretty much still in his prime. But now in retrospect, after the fights Joshua had after that, I'm like, yo, maybe just, it's just that, like, respectfully, a deteriorated Klitschko is still enough to almost take out AJ. And now, like, before, I kind of thought it was just, like, politics stopping the Wilder fight, but, dude, AJ's ducking Wilder. AJ's fucking ducking Wilder, bro, and Wilder knocks him the fuck out. And these are two guys I like, but I'm just being real, man. Wilder is so unorthodox and such a brawler. AJ is not going to know what to do with it, and Wilder's going to finish him, and that's that. And they're smart to avoid the fight. But, like, when it comes to a business sense for them, they're smart to avoid it. But when it comes to a legacy, who's the best, like mano y mano shit, you got to step up and prove it. And at this point, I feel like Wilder is pretty much the unified, undisputed champ. Although AJ has most of the belts until AJ could prove it. Until AJ can prove that I'm better than Wilder, and the only way to do that is in the ring. But from what I've seen in the last few fights, AJ's too green for that. And Wilder's going to knock him out. And, I mean, I rock with AJ, and it sucks to say, but at this point, man, the Bronze Bomber's coming. Bomb Squad! Deontay is a beast, and Deontay might catch that body in England. And if he does, they're going to give him the death sentence. So, yeah, man, I feel like Deontay Wilder wins that fight. I feel like AJ needs to do a little more work and maybe juice up a little bit more, and do his damn do. He needs to advance. He needs to. I don't know, man. I don't know who you're gonna bring in to give you those looks of Deontay, but maybe bring in Luis Ortiz and like kind of have smokers in there. See if you could conquer that, and then make a Wilder fight. I don't know, man. But at this point, dude, that was a very. I mean, aesthetically and to a non-educated, like a casual fan, that fight was super boring. But like with a technical trained eye, it was an extremely like tactical chess match because they were always at range with each other. The refereeing was funky, but that's that. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, that's what I got. Like AJ's got a lot more room to improve, and Wilder just being Wilder could take him the fuck out. So I mean, that's what I got to say about it, man. I'm excited about Holloway Khabib, but it really hasn't really sunk in. So I don't have like that true like, oh shit. And like, let's see, man, we might have, I'm not going to say we might have weight issues or anything, but let's see at this point what the fuck happens, because I don't want to say it. I'm not going to say it. I was going to say I don't want to see this be a Thug Rose Joanna headliner, because even this shit falls out. But let's hope that both of them make it into the cage and we get a good fight. You already know it's Mastermind MMA.